Hi, this is Tucker, and welcome to the Simpler Stocks video for Friday, August the 26th. And we're doing this Thursday the 25th after the close. Chris is traveling this afternoon, so I'm filling in for him. As I've mentioned before, a couple of things here. One, if you're a member and you're watching the free video, just go watch the member video, because for the members, I just combine them both. That way you only have to watch one video. And also, Chris is a short-term trader, and I'm more of a long-term trader. So everybody's been watching the S&P 500, and it's one of the indexes I look at every day. And we continue to be trading in this little pattern here. We do have two closes underneath the tree line. So that could be an indication that the market's ready to pull back. And we have a squeeze, but there's no momentum either direction. And that's because there's been no price movement. And right now, all eyes are on the Fed announcement tomorrow morning when Yellen speaks, and that's at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And so based on what she says, we could see a sizable move either direction. But unfortunately, we don't know that in advance. So one way to prepare for that is to lighten up your load. I'm only in a couple trades right now. I'll show you those in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to pretty much be on the sidelines because I have no idea which way the reaction is going to be to her news, and no one really does. I also like looking at the transportation index, and that was down about 50 points today, but you can see it's still trading in this zone here. It really hasn't broken down. And then the other one that I look at, which I think is a leading indicator, and that's the semiconductor index. And you can see it was up today when all the major indexes were down, and it's in a very strong trend. So it's continuing up, and so as long as that train is a runaway train, you don't want to get in front of it. Eventually, it'll run out of fuel and it'll turn back and pull back. But right now, it seems to be pretty strong. So with that said, if you're longer term trading, you want to look for stocks that have a very similar pattern to this index. And that's a very strong upward movement. That's if you're looking to go long. So I'm in a long and a short trade now. The long trade is AMBA, and that triggered on the 22nd. And see, we got in above this resistance level, and there's not a lot of resistance between our entry and our target. Also, you can see the multi-time frame is all green, and also the momentum on the squeeze is moving up. We don't have a squeeze, but the momentum is moving up. And the short trade I'm in is DO, and we got in here several days ago at $20.37. And you can see we've had a nice move down here the last few days. And the momentum is increasing to the downside, and the multi-time frame is all red and has been all red since a few days before we got into the trade. And our target is this green line here at 1833. So with only being in two trades, we have plenty of capital now to set up some trades after the announcement tomorrow. One long trade you may want to consider is Visa, symbol is V. If they do decide to raise interest rates sooner versus later, that could be good for the credit cards and the banks. And our entry is going to be above all this resistance. So you see we got a pretty solid resistance level right in here, and our entry is just above that. So our entry is going to be at 81.91. If you have a $10,000 account, you can set that up for 22 shares. Since we're setting this up when the markets are closed, our entries are a stop loss. So we have an entry price 81.91. That's the minimum price before we get into the trade. We have a max slippage because if it gaps overnight, we don't want to give up too much profit. So the maximum we're willing to get in the trade is at 83.55. We have a stop at 77.38. Target is 90.10. Risk reward ratio is 1.81, and we're going to risk 1% on this trade. And so by setting it up overnight, you have your entry, you have your stop, you have your target. And then if the move is down tomorrow, then you don't get in the trade. And more than likely, if it moves down too far, it will not be a valid setup, and you'll just cancel the setup. And then if it moves up during the day and it actually triggers, then you already have it set up in advance. Another long trade we have is WCC, $10,000 account. You set that up for 71 shares. Entry is going to be 62.81. You can see that's above recent resistance. Max slippage is 64.07. We have a stop of 60.69. Target is 69.09. Risk reward ratio is 2.96, and you can risk 1.5% on that trade. Momentum is up. Squeeze fired off, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but the momentum continues up on that, and the multi-time frame is all green. And you can see the green line being our target. There's not a lot of resistance once that trade actually triggers. Let's look at a couple short trades. So this is HCA. 100 MA is turned over. It's not turned red yet, but it's rolled over. That's why it's gray. We have a squeeze that has not fired. And the last 2 days, multi-time frames have all been red. And you see once we enter in the trade, not a lot of support until we get down close to our target. And actually, most of that support is a little bit below that number. In $10,000 account, you can set this up for 57 shares. Entry is going to be 73.09. Slippage is 71.63. Stop is 75.71. Target is 65.78. And we have a 2.79 risk reward ratio, allowing you to risk 1.5% on that trade. So another short setup is Verizon VZ, $10,000 account. You can set this up for 59 shares. Entry is 52.01. Slippage is 50.97. Stop is 54.14. Target is 46.81. Risk reward ratio is 2.44. And here's 1.25% on this trade. I want to make you aware that Bruce is doing a webinar next Thursday, and it's going to be advanced Thinkorswim tricks. And Thursday, September the 1st, it's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time. So those of you that know Bruce, you know that he's a Thinkorswim wizard already. If you are new, you can learn a lot from Bruce. He's been using Thinkorswim for a very long time. So I've trained a lot of new traders, and there's 2 things that I tell them up front. 2 things they need to learn how to do very well. One, they need to learn the trading system that they're going to use or their own rules and follow those rules. The second one is just as important, and that is you need to learn your trading platform. And you need to know how it works, because you need to make sure you enter in those trades correctly, because you can lose money because you did something wrong on the trading platform. So Bruce is going to cover all that and help prevent you from making some of those mistakes. So even if you're brand new to Thinkorswim or you've been using Thinkorswim for a while, you're going to get a lot out of this class. It's only $197, and all you have to do is click here to register. And to get to that link, all you have to do is go out to simpletrading.com/tricks. Hopefully this has been helpful. Have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next video.